Hi guys, good evening and welcome to On Track GP. It's sprint weekend again. We're in Texas, but we've got three lovely faces joining me this evening to talk us all through it. Good evening to Tom, to Talia and to Jack. How are we all doing? All good?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Yeah, good, thank
Good.
you.
Well, good. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Tom, I'll start with you. What have you made of the kind of sprint format at the moment?
I'm a fan of the action.
Yeah.
I like the sort of high intensity, dramatic sprint idea of it. So yeah, looking forward to tonight.
You like more racing than practicing and things like that?
I do. I think it's more interesting seeing cars actually compete for position with each other than just hacking around.
Talia, same question to you. You enjoying more racing rather than practicing?
I do like the sprints because I always find them really interesting, but what do I like? Do I like the sprint more, or is that kind of a...
Is it a bit boring sometimes?
It's not that it's a bit boring, but it just feels, well, we are watching a shorter race, and sometimes it's like, why?
Yeah, yeah.
Not all the time,
why.
but sometimes it does feel a bit like, why?
And I'm totally with you, and I think maybe Qatar was the first sprint race where I've gone, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Jack, what are you hoping from tonight's one? Could be chaos, hopefully going to turn one for us.
Yeah, it could be chaos. I have to say, I think I'm more a fan of last year's
Sure.
template, where it's sort of you qualify and then how you do in the sprint defines Sunday, because I feel like it's kind of like they've qualified last night and then they've got up and done the same thing again, but however they did today doesn't matter tomorrow. It's just sort of like
it's like a
there's
different
no
day.
jeopardy. But then again, when you look at it last year, people were saying that they don't try in the sprint because they don't want to crash, mess their race up and start from the back. So,
Of course.
I mean, I can see it both ways, but I think the idea, great, the execution needs refining.
I'm with you. And Carlos Sainz has said recently that he would like a reverse grid, so whoever's last starts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chaos.
Talia, would that work for you?
That'd be so much fun. I would love to watch that. I think it'd be so much more interesting.
And people like Logan Sargent might get a go as well to start from the
Exactly.
front. Tom, what's your thoughts on a reverse grid?
I'm really not a fan of it, to be honest.
No.
From a driver's perspective, that is your worst nightmare. See, having to start from the back, knowing that you're the fastest in cars like that there, in those conditions, it would be hell. It would be so hard and so difficult, and it would just be nicer to have a nice, clean, easy race up the front.
Quickly tell us about your experiences as a driver, because we were just saying off air then, I've driven at a birthday party when I was 10 and it wasn't ready for me.
Yeah.
But you have quite a background. Tell us a bit about that.
So this year I was racing European GT4. I came third in the championship this year. Year before that, it was British GT4. It's saloon car racing, GT cars. Slightly different to the single-seaters, but yeah. And then before that there, it was Ginetta Juniors and karting, so I'm familiar with sprint racing and endurance racing.
So are we saying that if Logan Sargent does go out, you could be in the Williams next year?
That would be unlikely. I wouldn't put money on it.
Just say yes. You're meant to dream big. Don't say that'd
Manifest
be
it,
unlikely.
Tom. No, I'm all for you. Let's talk about the sprint qualifying, the session today. You're very happy. Tell us why.
I'm very happy because Ferrari is second, especially Charles Leclerc. So it's nice to, it's nice to see them finally doing something.
And he did well yesterday, obviously putting it on pole for the main Grand Prix tomorrow. What's changed for Ferrari? Because they've had Singapore with Sainz winning. They're getting more consistent. What's been the big kind of change for you?
I think maybe there is some sort of, I think it could be a case of because they haven't done well. Sometimes it is in life when you're not doing well, it gives you that kick to suddenly be like, right, we need to push this. So maybe it's some coaching, maybe it's something. I think it's something mentally, but I think I said that before. There's something mentally wasn't working, but now they've obviously, something's been said or there's been a switch and it's like, right, especially with Charles Leclerc, it's like, right, we've got this now, we've nearly done the whole season and like, where's he been?
Jack, you're wearing red for Ferrari this evening.
I mean, I don't want to hide the Arsenal logo, but...
No, love it.
We said before, this is a safe space.
It's a safe space.
I didn't have another
And listen,
t-shirt.
as Chelsea and Arsenal across here, it's 2-2, so we can talk about draws. Everything's good in the room. But Ferrari, who's their number one driver? I think it's the million-dollar question. For me, it's always been Leclerc, but Sainz is the one who's got that win this year. Leclerc's better this weekend. How do you see it between those two drivers? I feel it's tight.
I see it as sort of Leclerc's, he's Ferrari's golden boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to topple him. There's a chance Sainz pulls level, as sort of they look at it as level drivers, but I don't think there'll ever be a point where sort of Leclerc gets pushed behind Sainz. I just can't see that as something that'll ever happen.
Although I feel Sainz has had a good season getting that win. Singapore, that was a real kind of turning point in the season, would you agree, Tom? That finally Max has not won. And can we see more teams getting involved as we head through the rest of the season?
Absolutely, yeah. I think this season, if you take Max out of the equation, it's been a really intense fight for that P2 position, especially even with Sergio involved. So, yeah, I think if Max is no longer as dominant as he has been, I think it could be a really interesting season.
Absolutely. People getting involved in the comments already, guys, saying that they're loving the sprint format, that Qatar was a good race. Mm. Do you think we're going to have a good one this evening? Turn 1 in Texas is famous, that big left-hander. Are you wanting chaos? Do you go into races, Talia, like me, going, I want chaos?
I mean, it is that thing, isn't it? It's the first turn.
Yeah.
Any race, you sit there and you're like, oh. And once they've got through it, you're like, okay, right, race ready. Once they haven't, it's like, oh, here we go. Yeah, I every race at the beginning, I get nervous for that first turn.
Especially with Leclerc being in P2, some would say that's actually a better position to be. That first turn can normally carnage. So, Jack, let Verstappen go, and then Leclerc can just sweep on through. Is that how it's going to work tonight? Early prediction?
No, I think when we say about turn 1, I think is it last year, if I'm not mistaken, that Sainz has got himself in a really good position. He's just hit straight in the side by Russell,
yeah.
his entire side pod off and finish his race within sort of like 30 seconds. So yeah, it's lock-up central into turn 1 and anything can happen. And
that's what I'm looking forward to when we get going very, very soon. Let's go through the sprint shootout and qualifying today, because Leclerc set that initial fastest time in the first SQ1. He was 0.3 faster than Max Verstappen. Tom, I've noticed this weekend that people are getting closer to Red Bull. Is Max a little bit hungover from his celebrations 2 weeks ago, or are these teams really catching them up? Because it's good to see lots of people in the fight.
No, absolutely. I think the margins are certainly a lot closer. For example, yesterday Max's time was delayed, but he was 5 thousandths quicker than Charles. But whenever it really comes down to it, Max has the edge on him. You've seen it today. We saw it yesterday, even though he had his track lap deleted. But I think he still has that edge over them. But again, it makes for a very interesting race.
As a racer, I'd love to get your thoughts on this one as well, because Max, for me, he's clearly heads and shoulders above everyone this year, but he gets really, really angry, that situation he had with Perez yesterday, having a go on the team radio. How frustrating is it as a driver when a teammate or just someone is cutting you up when you're on that flying lap? I mean, do you understand his frustration, or does he just need to calm down a bit? He's got it wrapped up.
It does drive you crazy, really sort of shouting in the helmet. Like, if you imagine what he said to the team, think about what he shouted in his helmet at the time. But no, I think it does just drive you nuts.
I can imagine. I mean, I do when I drive just around North London. I took a wrong turn. I ran out of the one-way system again for 20 minutes. You know the feeling. George Russell, suffered a weird issue during the session. He could hear all his engineers talking on the radio during his push lap. I mean, how distracting would that be if you're just trying to concentrate on getting a good lap in? George was on used tyres for that first session as well, so he had it all up against him, and you can hear everyone talking about...
Imagine if someone's consulting you behind
That's
your back.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
It's like when you say someone's name and you're slagging them off, and then your phone goes off and you end up calling them. That's happened one too many times to me.
Or you turn around and they're behind you.
Oh, that's happened. What were we talking about you when you walked in this evening? No, joking. Yes. But he's under investigation for impeding Charles Leclerc in the closing moments. He has now been given a 3-place grid penalty. George has been behind Lewis, it pains me to say, this weekend. Jack, for you, is Lewis the clear number 1 in the team? Can George get back in? Because he's had a couple of good races, George.
Yeah, I think it's set quite nicely. Sort of Lewis is coming towards the end of his career, and Russell knows he's got 10 plus years ahead of him. So I think it's balancing quite nicely that they're not getting too annoyed at each other, because it's sort of eventually Lewis will retire and then George will have his time. So I don't think there's any I need to do it now, I need to beat him now. But it's been closer than I think a lot of people thought it would have been.
I agree. And that mistake from Lewis last week, turning into George, and Yuki Tsunoda was furious because he was knocked out of SQ1 today. Replays show that Lewis actually made contact with him. Is Lewis losing his allure?
I don't think it's that. I think...
Oh, clip that up.
I don't think
that's a quote on Instagram, isn't it?
That's what he did it for the clip.
Talk.
Yeah, did it for the clip.
That's it, isn't it?
I don't think that's what it was, though. I think it's... you were saying, obviously, he knows he might be coming towards the end of his game, but I think he doesn't want to, though. So maybe it's just more, you know what, I'm just driving this. I'm going to do not what I want, but I'm just going to go and give it what I can.
Absolutely. No, I'm joking, by the way. I think Lewis Hamilton's a fabulous driver. Someone who's not is Logan Sargent. He was knocked out again in SQ1 with Tsunoda, Bottas, Magnussen and Hulkenberg. Home races, Jack. I really had a good feeling for Logan Sargent this weekend. He's got the home support. He's in his home country. What is not working for him right now? What do you put it down to?
I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and sort of in F2 everyone's got equal cars, and then he's come in and he's driving the worst car on the grid, and it's maybe he's not quite getting to grips with it. I mean, you'll have more insight than I will when it comes to driving a car that's maybe new to you or not quite up to the standard you believe as to how difficult it is to adapt. Because not only is he adapting to a whole new category, and a whole new sort of that level of drivers to compete against. He's also driving the worst car on the grid, so I mean, yeah, you'll have more insight than me.
Yeah, Tom, what's your thoughts on that? You get a car, you know your ability as a driver, but when you don't kind of come to one with the car, frustration. What's your experiences with that?
I think you really need to focus on the level of Formula One. It is the absolute peak of motorsport, and unlike F2, where you sort of have drivers chopping in and changing, you have these ones that stay in Formula One for years, such as Fernando, for example, who I think he debuted before I was born. Definitely. So you have these absolute specialists. And so for you to step up and make that jump, it's such a huge jump. And some drivers can do it, such as Oscar. He came in, fantastic job this season.
Away.
Whereas Logan, it'll just take time for him. Some people can do it straight away, some won't. But I think if he has the time, it'll certainly come to him. But it's whether or not he has the many seasons he might need. You know?
Absolutely. Listen, I hope Logan does something. It's his home Grand Prix tonight. Right, let's not ignore what is next to us. Talia, talk us through this. I sung Whitney 2 weeks ago with you because of this wheel.
Yeah.
What is so special about this to you? What makes you nervous on this wheel?
None of it.
No. Oh, we like confidence.
But that's the kind of thing you're not meant to tell them what makes you nervous.
This is true. It's a bit like when they go, "No, I'm a celebrity." Say,
Yeah,
"I'm scared of spiders."
Exactly.
Yeah. Tom and Jack, I'll explain it to you. We did this a couple of weeks ago. So throughout the race this evening, every kind of 2-3 laps, we'll say who we think that top three is going to be. So we'll look at the top three. Can we see a change? Because obviously the sprint race can change quite a lot, and the US Grand Prix sees a lot of changes. You have a prediction. If you're wrong, we'll spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, it could be beatboxing, it could be 5 push-ups, a bit of dancing, or singing. And Jack, you've promised us a real classic if you were to fall on singing.
Right, I mean...
A real banger. I want him to get
So do I. Well, which one makes you most nervous about this wheel?
Can I say all of them?
No.
Look, I'll take push-ups.
Okay. Bit of a gym lad.
No, it's more of just I can't sing and I can't dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sort of when I was given my abilities and my talents, I think that was left well to the side.
Right at the bottom of it. Tom, we hear a lot of drivers, Carlos Sainz singing Smooth Operator, Lando Norris loves to sing as well. As a driver, are you a bit of a singer?
I mean, whenever I'm very alone, I would be prone to maybe singing a little bit, but publicly on a podcast, it would take a lot of ambition for me to do that.
Well, I'm really hoping it does.
With your helmet on?
Yes.
What's the song that you would
I
be?
do. It changes from time to time. For a while it was Sexy Back, to be fair.
Done, that's what you're doing. Done.
So just to clarify, you're driving these top speeds, really intricate corners, and you're going, I'm going in thick and bad.
I gotta clarify, it's not whenever you're driving.
Oh, right.
It's
in the shower.
Yeah, or whenever you're getting ready, you're in the garage or something like that, and just Sexy Back, it just comes on.
It's a good question, actually. We'll see it when the drivers come to the grid soon. And all kind of sportsmen and sportswomen do this. They put headphones on, some of them, get in the zone. Are you like that? Do you want to get in the zone? What's your playlist?
See, getting in the zone for me sometimes can make me more nervous because I'm doing a task that I wouldn't normally do. I like to keep it more sort of informal, casual. Maybe don't go crazy socially, but just chat to the engineers, talk about what we have to do, just keep it really nice and boring and basic.
Yeah.
And then Sexy Back comes on. That's it.
Good to go. Talia, if you're a driver, you're heading to the grid, you've got your headphones on. What's that number one song in your ears?
The number
Just
one.
to get you pumped for a big race, like a sprint race.
I don't know. I'd probably do something from like Imagine Dragons. They're one of my favourite bands.
Who's Imagine? I don't know.
Does no one know Imagine Dragons?
I do know.
Thank you.
Can you
Thank you.
just tell me one of their songs? Or give us a
one
bit?
of their songs is
Sing
Radioactive. Sing a bit. One of their songs is called On Top of the World. It's
I'm
like,
on the top of...
kind of similar, but not really, that one.
You got the words right.
I feel like it would
Thank
have
you.
to be quite a fast, pumpy, positive song in my head.
A pumpy song?
Yeah, but that's what I would come out with headphones on,
I can't
personally.
do that.
So I shut everyone else
So
out.
if you've got your headphones in, you're heading to the grid, you've got to get yourself pumped for a big sprint race in Texas. What's getting you in the mood?
See, I'd take it from... So I play football.
Okay.
And usually because I'm fairly tall, I get a lot of people marking me from corners. And I like to just wind people up, so I'm always Mysterious Girl. Or Night Fever, just to...
Those are great.
Whoever's defending...
Because everyone...
Yeah.
And that's Mysterious. Is that Mysterious Girl?
No, it goes...
That was Material Girl. Sorry, that's a good song. Yeah.
Mysterious
Under the
Girl.
waterfall.
I want to get close to you. Body
So
roll.
if we're waiting for... If someone's pulling their socks or there's an injury, I'm stood with the guy marking me just in his ear.
Yeah?
So that's
Imagine
me.
being
That would
distracted
really
by that.
throw me off. See if
Exactly,
someone starts
exactly.
just murmuring in my
That's
ear
what,
like
maybe
that.
we need to do that. Maybe someone needs to get in Verstappen. Whatever happened to Russell's radio? get that on Verstappen.
Get it on Verstappen. Let's hear what he
Right
sings.
before the start, when he's got his foot on the clutch and
Yeah.
he's getting his revs up. Get mysterious going, is it?
Yeah, but Peter Andre in his ear. Let's move away from the reboot of the X Factor that we're doing this evening and head into our chat. Lots of people. Someone saying Abbey beatboxing was shocking last time. You were here for that.
That's not fair.
To be
Abby's
fair-
beatboxing wasn't that bad.
It was terrible.
We said there was some Star Wars in it, wasn't it? It was like,
And people asking about the most improved driver today. Let's go round. Let's look at the start of the season. For me, it's an obvious improvement with the team. So McLaren, from where they were at the start of the year to where they are now, Talia, is incredible. Who's been the most improved driver from week 1 to Texas today?
am I allowed to say Charles Leclerc?
Of course you
Because
can.
he's second.
You got a reason.
He's second and first this weekend. He hasn't been there at all, basically.
This is true.
The rest of the season. Whereas last season, I know I've said this before, but last season he was on the podium / pole a lot. And we literally have not seen him there at all this season, and yet he's on there for the whole weekend. So
Amazing.
I'm going with him.
Fair enough. Jack, most improved driver on the grid?
I'm going to go Esteban Ocon.
Oh, okay,
Purely
nice.
because he started the season with, I think, minus 40-second penalty in the
Sure.
first race, so it can't get any worse.
And look where he is now. Fair enough.
low
Tom,
point.
most improved?
It's hard to put it past Oscar Piastri, and I know he started high,
Yeah.
but he's been fantastic all season, and well, all season he won the sprint race, and
Of course.
just to be able to come up against a driver like Lando and then start
Sure.
to outshine him was fantastic.
Well, I'm getting quite a lot of compliments on the orange number this evening, the Lando top. They're loving it. Talking of Lando, though, I feel that he is not best pleased with Oscar Piastri in a sense of he's that number 1 driver by name. I don't think he'll be pleased that Oscar was the first one to get a win. How do you see that going between them, particularly next year? Could there be a real tense rivalry between the two of them?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the makings of a good rivalry there. You look at Lando; he has not won a race for McLaren yet, although his Ricciardo and Oscar have. So, yeah, that will have an impact on him, and it'll be interesting to see how he reacts.
Amazing. Right, just under 15 minutes till lights out. The drivers are coming to the grid. It looks dry. It looks hot. Have you ever been to Texas, either of you? Any three of you?
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's angling for a move
Yeah.
here.
Not yet.
Delicious.
Not yet, guys.
No, never.
Jack?
No.
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 I think I did a night stopover when I was flying somewhere because it was cheaper to go via Texas, happens. But this is a really kind of iconic track, that look up with the big American flag, taking that first turn to the left. Jack, what's your favourite track on the Formula One calendar?
God.
Everyone start thinking,
On
so I'm
the
coming to you
spot.
soon.
Oh, you come to me first.
Yeah, I did just throw you in the deep end.
Yeah.
could say so.
Would you like to phone a friend?
No, I'll go Silverstone.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
patriotic, good stuff.
I've been there. Nice.
Yeah.
Maggots and Beckett's thing, one of the best sort of sequences of corners
Of
on
course.
the calendar.
And there is a little bit of that sequence in this, some really quick
Yeah.
turns
Mhm.
through
Yeah,
sector 1.
here
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
has its sort of similarities. Which
Yeah. This is a great track because it has got a bit of everything. You've got that long straight around the back, but those intricate corners, that first turn, I don't think there's a better turn. Is that an outrageous thing to say?
Yeah.
Certainly
That
is the first.
That's another one for Instagram, to be fair.
Oh, is it? Why is that so outrageous?
Just
He's not happy. Yeah, that's quite a debate, isn't it? Talia, but before I come to you, we've got Danny Ricciardo on the
With his
screen
headphones
there. On his headphones on, listening to a bit of Mysterious Girl from Peter Andre.
100%.
My favourite
Bit of an
driver.
Aussie.
Yeah, Jack, your favourite driver.
Favourite
What? Are you
driver.
pleased to see him back this weekend?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice seeing him back. I think this is probably the one when he had his injury. Like, if there's one you want to be back for, he's probably said Austin. He's got
Of course.
a real love affair with the American Grand Prix. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, nice to see him back. Surprised to see him back next year as well.
Yeah,
I
to
mean,
what they just
I've
gave
been
that
on since
contract.
That's been
Of
sort
course,
since
yeah,
that's been
yeah,
announced. It's still something that sort of puzzles me. But
Sure, that they just ignored Liam Lawson.
ignoring Lawson and also his willingness to race for a slightly slower team, I think his whole reason for taking a year off this year was that he didn't want to go to AlphaTauri, Williams or Haas. So
Yeah.
something's obviously changed. Maybe he doesn't think that Red Bull move's
Sure.
there for him anymore. But
Tally, you took a sharp intake of breath there.
I can't remember which point.
Just the whole
I'll
conversation.
repeat it.
No, yeah, it's just if you repeat it again.
But-
No, you were talking. It was about Daniel Ricciardo,
Yeah.
and you were mentioning about when he didn't want to come back to a lower, not a lower team, but you know what you were trying to say. And I think it was more. I think with Daniel Ricciardo, obviously when he lost his seat last season, it was he'll do anything to get back.
Just
in.
get back in the sport.
So yes, staying in the third driver for Red Bull was like, okay, I'm here, so I know it will work. So yeah, you're right. I think he can see whatever happens with Perez this season or next season, it's probably not going to be Ricciardo. But
Yep.
then a seat comes up, and he's probably thinking that he's been on the tracks. You know, he's been at all the beginning races, just not in the car. And he's probably thought, you know what, I love this too much, I will just take a seat.
Just get me in a car and let's
Just
see
get into
what
a
I can
car.
do. Because Liam Lawson was doing good things with it, Tom. Are you surprised that they just kind of got rid of Lawson and just thought, well, it's lovely. It's like a little loan player for 6 months. Don't fall in love with a loan player. And look what happened. Can you see Lawson in the sport next year for another team? And do you think AlphaTauri have made a mistake?
It's hard to say, really. He didn't have a long enough time in Formula 1 to actually see a proper impact. Sometimes whenever you first come in, you almost have that advantage. It's almost if you see a player come into a football team for the first few games, they do incredibly, and then afterwards you can't see them drop off. But I don't know. I think Daniel Ricciardo is certainly a safe bet, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays out. It's also, I think Ricciardo likes it so much because it's a lot less pressure, I think, than what he was faced at McLaren.
Absolutely,
He came into McLaren and everyone expected so much from him. He underperformed, whereas he's come in halfway through the year, and I think he just has a really nice environment around him.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to seeing how he do tonight. Listen, all four of us are very knowledgeable, but there's one person in this room, the Rachel Riley of On Track GP. Over to Dictionary Corner for the first time. Colin, what have you got for me?
Thanks for that, Nick. That's going to stick now, I think. Just to kind of lean in on your conversation with AlphaTauri there, I've just after hearing, I won't take credit for it, I just heard it on the commentary, but it's a very surprising stat that, considering these sprint races have been a thing in F1 for the last 2 years or so now, the only team to never have scored points in a sprint race is actually AlphaTauri.
No way.
So it'd be probably worth looking at Daniel Ricciardo in that 10th spot as we go racing this afternoon.
And could there be a change of history over in Texas today? Let's talk about your baby, Fernando Alonso. She's a big fan. It's not really happened for Aston Martin this weekend. There's lots of talk about them bringing a new package on a sprint weekend. Seemed a bit weird because they were just one practice session and then straight into it. We won't talk about Lance Stroll too much because I think that is driver error. But Alonso, what's happened to him this weekend?
I have absolutely no idea, and it's really, I have no idea because he's been on form all season, I think. Yeah, okay, maybe hit and miss a few times.
Sure.
I don't know. I guess it can just be like anything really. Sometimes you just don't have a good day, but then again, winning teams and drivers and champions aren't going to have that off day. So, that's kind of, maybe that is where he's going with towards, I'd say, the end of his career, being the eldest on the grid.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's probably where it might be going a little bit more. So, maybe those off days are coming a little bit few and far. So
yeah, and I think as well, for Aston Martin, if I was Fernando Alonso, I'm getting quite frustrated with my teammate and Stroll, because you look at McLaren, they're hunting them down. I think they probably will get them by the end of the season. And that's a driver pairing with Norris and Piastri that are working well together. Stroll is nowhere near Alonso's level. If you're a seasoned pro like Alonso, are you thinking, I'm not going to be in the sport forever? Can I find a move quickly, or can we get rid of Stroll? Are you pushing for that as your Alonso?
I think Alonso coming into Aston Martin was huge for him, and he has done, the thing is, he's done fantastically this season. But then again, you're looking at is it staying at Aston Martin, or is it moving into another team with a great pairing? Imagine him and Max Verstappen together.
Unbelievable.
I would love that. I would.
Of course you would.
But then there you go. I would then be veering towards I'm a Red Bull fan now. Follow the driver, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Ricciardo, Alonso out in SQ2, as well as Ocon. I went all French then. Ocon, Stroll, and Zhou Guanyu. Into that final one, Verstappen takes pole, Leclerc second. Lewis Hamilton, Tom, a word on him. Obviously, we don't need to talk about his legacy. Everyone knows that. He's had a really good weekend after a couple of under his level ones. Have you been impressed with how he's been able to bounce back and work well with that Mercedes car?
Yes, absolutely. I think he certainly has a point to prove this weekend, coming off a pretty dodgy weekend that he's just had. But yeah, I think he's certainly one to watch.
Absolutely. And we've been speaking, haven't we, about it's been quite a good season if you look below Red Bull and you look below Verstappen. Because that's just been every week, well, Verstappen won it and Red Bull, good for them. And then it's been exciting below that. But Tally, for the first time, top 4 cars on the grid were all within 1/10 of each other. That is super exciting and should make for a really good race. Can we keep our fingers crossed here that this is like a preview for next year? Are we going to have a better season with teams coming closer together, or a Red Bull just kind of thought, we've won it, we'll take our foot off the pedal a little bit?
It's funny that you say that, because I think a few people have said, Red Bull just kind of sitting back a little bit, or even Max just sitting back a little bit. But I don't think he is. I don't think he's that way inclined. I think he still wants to win every single race. So it might be a case of the other drivers, for some reason, have this newfound confidence, or everyone's just like, right, let's do this now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's actually do this. So I just do hope the next season is different in the sense that it's not Max Verstappen and 19 drivers, finding a position after him.
Absolutely. Lots of people, by the way, guys, loving the knowledge on the sofas this evening. Tom has a great accent.
Do I?
Apparently so.
Who said that? Let me see them.
Harry.
Oh.
And I'm charismatic. We all have a lot of knowledge on the sport, clearly. Talia, you're definitely the prettiest one from Tony J. Gutted.
Sorry, guys.
No, joking. Right, we've got some whiteboards in front of us, guys. Have you got pens, or we can share
Yes.
pens? You have got pens. Let's write down our top
A
three
pen.
then for this
Sure.
evening's race. You can have that one. There you go.
Oh, thanks, mate.
You're
We
welcome.
only have one pen over here.
Well, sharing is caring.
Well, that
on
means-
On-track
okay.
GP.
Arsenal fans stick together.
Arsenal
Yes,
fans stick
do stick together. London is red.
So, Verstappen on pole, Leclerc second, Hamilton third. End of the sprint race, who's going to be on the podium? Just jot it down. Keep it close to your chest. Don't tell me. You don't tell me then.
I hate to ask this question because the answer will be yes if I ask it, but is there a forfeit getting this wrong or anything, or is there any?
I couldn't possibly tell you that.
All right.
I'd have to kill you.
Wait, who are the top 5, 6 again?
So Norris is in four, Piastri fifth. Who's in sixth?
We've got.
Rachel?
Who's in?
Who's P6? It's gone blank. So we've got the two
We've all
McLarens
gone
fourth
blank.
and
All
fifth.
of us. You can go first if you want.
I tell you what, I'm about to go through the grid because we're rolling the titles here
Okay.
for the race. So let's get through. I mean, who knows? Put Sargent second for a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? Just pop it down
I
there.
might just boost up Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, why not? Right, here we go. I'm going to go with that. Someone coming in saying Russell's P11. Ouch. But he is because of that grid penalty earlier today.
I think that intro for F1 and their little positions
I've-
are unbelievable.
I've often thought this, that we could do an on-track GP one.
Unbelievable.
Could you imagine? Like, it just comes to me and
Thank
I'm on
you.
the wall like that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we should
that'd be good.
for the closing of the season.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Right, have you got your three in?
Yep.
I have not yet.
Okay, well,
Um,
I'll tell you what, before we get it through, let us go through the grid. We're just having a look at the track. We're over in Texas today. Round 19, I believe, of the Formula One calendar. 2 out of 3. We've got Vegas in a few weeks. Excited for that?
Yeah, we
Very
are
excited
Vegas.
for that. It's our third one. 19 laps in this sprint race. You're at full throttle for 57%. What does that mean, being at full throttle? Just kind of flat out? And is that a big percentage compared to some tracks, or as a driver?
I've got to be honest with you, I have no idea if that's a big percentage or not.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, full throttle is, yeah, it's full throttle. There's
And
not
full
much else to
throttle
it.
really is, and we've got that kind of triple right on this track, where it's just foot to the floor the whole time.
Well, full throttle is the standard baseline.
Sure.
If you drive a track in my head, you want to go flat out for it as much as you can.
Yeah.
So,
And
that
let's
sounds
go
like-
through the grid, because some of these guys at the back are going to have to do that. Sargent starting at the back on his home sprint race. Sonoda in 19th. It's Bottas and Magnussen, followed by Hulkenberg and Zhou Guan Yu. Lance Stroll in 14th. Esteban Ocon in 13th. Can they get towards the points? George Russell's in 11th for that penalty. Fernando Alonso in 12th. Can they make their way into the points in the 19 laps today? Danny Rick, can he turn around history and get AlphaTauri's first sprint points? He's in 10th. Pierre Gasly out qualifying his teammate in 9th. Alex Albon, that's a great result for the Williams. He's in 8th behind Checo Perez in 7th. And for Checo, that's a good start. Carlos Sainz is 6th. Oscar Piastri, the rookie, in 5th. So Sainz was 6th, in answer to your
Perfect,
question.
thank you.
Norris 4th. Lewis Hamilton
Oof.
in 3rd, Charles Leclerc in 2nd behind Max Verstappen, and look how close we're looking at these times here. They're all split by a matter of tenths. Right, you've got yours in?
Yes.
Talia's just finding a way to get Alonso in the top 3.
yeah,
You've
I
got
mean,
yours, I've got mine. Okie dokie.
You'll have to excuse my handwriting.
Oh, mine's terrible. So actually I could change if it all goes
Well,
wrong.
I'm left-handed, so I just write out. I rub it out as I write with the whiteboard.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm
Few-
stuck on 2. I'm stuck on between 2.
A few people getting their questions in as well. 50, here we go, here's a bit of knowledge for us on a Saturday evening. 57.83% full throttle is a good amount for the track. Qatar had a higher amount with Brazil as well. So it's a good amount, so we should see
Good.
some good racing.
Good.
Ready for predictions?
Yeah.
Let's go through it. Tom, I'll start with you. Your top 3 for the sprint race today.
hard not to go Max.
And you've got shirt. in case
Sorry.
you might lie.
Max, Charles, and Norris. Gonna back my British guy.
Max, Charles. Oh, wow, wee wow. Okay. Talia, you go. Who's your top 3? Alonso! Sainz and Leclerc.
Yes, no, I've done. I'm like considering a change now, but I've got Max, Max Lando than Charles.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Jack?
I want to change mine now.
You can't
see, I
change.
think I want
Oh,
to change
it's
mine as
locked
well.
in.
I think I want to swap Lando and Charles, but anyway.
I've put Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris.
Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris.
But
Wow.
wishful thinking, if I could change it, I'd put Norris P1.
Wishful thinking. Likewise in my Norris top, I'd hope for that. I'm
It's
going
more like a manifesting.
P3. I've gone, you're not going to like this, Max, Lewis and Norris. I don't know, again, why I've gone Max and Lewis and then put Norris as second name. Let's have a quick look at the chat before we go. Question from Harry, who's our favourite driver on the grid and favourite race you've watched? Just really quickly, because we're on formation lap. Favourite driver on the grid and the favourite performance from their season?
Favourite driver on the grid would be George Russell. Performance this season, anytime he's beaten Hamilton, really.
Oh, controversial. Very good. Tally up favourite driver and their favourite kind of performance this season.
Well, I guess my favourite drivers, I got two. I've got Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc, but then I think my favourite driver of the season is watching, not Sergio Perez, was watching Carlos Sainz get the podium.
In and winning it in Singapore, yeah. I'm with you as well. And Jack?
Ricciardo, and when he's had a wrist.
Yeah,
basically.
When Ricciardo has both wrists, he's fantastic. Colin?
So just something to know here before we start the race. Every driver on the grid at the moment is on medium tyres apart from Carlos Sainz in 6th place. So watch him for a really quick start. And remember Ricciardo last time, obviously the soft tyres fell off. Probably won't fall off as quick here at Kota, but he will be struggling towards the end compared to everyone else.
So, and it's important to say, isn't it, Colin, that there's no mandatory pit stops for the sprint race?
Not in the sprint.
So you're expected to go to the end. So Carlos, the only one risking, maybe not a risk, but going with the soft tyre. Right, we're on the formation lap. Let's just quickly go through what's happening here. Quickly, everyone. So we know that it's Max, it's Leclerc, followed by Hamilton, starting in that top three. What does everyone top three going to be at the end of that first lap? And that's when we'll have our first wheel.
First lap?
At the end of that first lap, who's going to be 1, 2 and 3?
Max, Charles, and Lando.
Okay. Okay, so Lewis is dropping. And
yeah,
Lando's swapping.
Don't know why.
Max, Charles, Lando.
Okay, all right, you could be doing a duet, you two. Your prediction for the end of lap 1, that top 3?
Going to stay as is.
Stay as is, and I'll stay as is as well. Okay,
That's
so...
too safe.
Team forfeits then?
Not at all. People coming in with their predictions. Harry says Max, Lewis and Leclerc. Max Verstappen superfan account says let's go Max, obviously. Max, Lando, Oscar as well. People thinking both the McLarens making the top. Right, is everyone ready? We're ready to go racing in Texas. The cars are just pulling up to Christian Horner looking weirdly nervous about the whole thing, considering he's already wrapped up the season. But sprint race, the penultimate sprint race on the calendar. Another long weekend. Oh, look at that with the green flag. Getting a bit closer to the cars. Are we expecting carnage, Tom, in turn 1, or do we think they're all going to stay out of each other's way?
Yeah, something interesting that could happen is Lando starting in P4, going into turn 1, which is left, Pole being on the left.
Sure.
So Lewis has a high chance of being boxed in P3, which
should have gone with this prediction.
Exactly. So wait, it's Pole's
on
on the right.
the
Sorry, Pole's on the right side. So no, forget everything I've said.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. It's going to be chaos going into that first turn. The last car is just pulling up. I'm quite excited. Is everyone excited for a sprint race? I love a sprint race. 19 laps in Texas. Here comes Logan Sargent for a change, coming up at the back, bringing up the rear. Everyone on medium tyres, as Colin said, apart from Carlos Sainz, whose looks are going to go full on send it, I would imagine, into turn 1. Toto, a stern look.
Always a stern look.
Always a stern look from the Wolf.
Always. I find it interesting that Ferrari have gone with 2 different sets of tyres.
Yeah, interesting. But if we know anything about Ferrari, they know nothing about strategy. Right, they've all come up to the grid. 5 red lights. The green flag is a waving. It's lights out. And away we go. It's a good start from Max Verstappen, but also Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
Lewis is... Lando's done well. Oh! Max has gone really to push Charles off the corner there in turn 1. It's a good turn from Lewis as well. Lewis is... Oh, he's spun. And he's ahead of Leclerc. He's just about. Lando's still in the fight as well. Leclerc's coming back at Lewis Hamilton. Here we go to the American version of Silverstone.
That was slick from Lewis.
It's very good. Lewis up into P2. I think he was pinching to turn 1 there, Tom, Leclerc, and I think that's cost him.
Yeah, I think so. I really wish to change my prediction.
Well, it's too late now.
It's rough.
So we've got Max leading, and he made a good start. And let's see who it is here. Lewis in 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, Norris 4th, then Carlos Sainz. These have got ahead of Piastri as well. Is that a Williams flying up the track? Jack, what do you make of that start? There's a lot going on, lots to see.
Yeah, interesting to see what happened with Hamilton.
Yeah.
I've seen on the commentary just at the top there that from Coylan that it looks like
big move there.
Hamilton's gone off the track and come on ahead of Leclerc, but I don't know whether Colin's got any more insight as to whether he went off or...
It did look like he had a bit of... Someone's gone off at the back there. I just need to get this grid and see. It's been so much movement, and there always is at the US Grand Prix. That looks like Sergio Perez trying to make a move on one of the McLarens as we come through the final corner.
And they're all still very tight.
I tell you what, Carlos Sainz on that soft, I need to get confirmations moved up. He has into 4th. Wow. So it's Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, then the 2 McLarens of Norris and Piastri, Perez 7th, Russell 8th, Gasly and Albon. Right. I can't even remember what people said.
I think we're all wrong.
I think every single one of us is right.
We're all on for a spin. Tom?
What?
Yeah, we're all on for a spin, aren't we?
Every single one of us.
Should we spin once and
For
whatever that
everything,
is,
yeah.
and everyone does it? Otherwise, we'll be here longer than 19 laps. So whatever this lands on, if it's a song, we've all got to give us a little
If it's
something.
push-ups.
We've got to sing together, same song.
No.
Simultaneously?
Solos.
No?
We'll have a look. Verstappen, by the way, has made a really, really good start. He's flying ahead as per. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, WD-40 on that. It's 5 push-ups.
How are we all going to do 5 push-ups together?
1 each.
Come on, there's just... We'll
and then
do
Colin
them
jumps
rounds.
in.
We'll do them in rounds.
Colin, you fancy a push-up?
We'll do them in rounds.
Go
He's
on.
up for it.
Why don't you
Fantastic.
start with the
Right.
push-ups?
Colin, in we come.
Come on.
Otherwise
in you come.
known as Rachel Riley for this evening. Let's see what
Into
Rachel's
the
got in
middle.
the locker.
Straight down.
Just one, yeah?
No,
Just
5.
just the one. No, just one.
what?
Let's split it.
It's a collective...
wanna do
I found a long-
5.
Oh, he's gone straight in, and it's really good form
Right.
from Colin. And a little bow there. Good
We
stuff.
got this.
I'm going to try and
Jack,
start
up we
my,
go.
Oh, I want to do 5.
There's a move coming in here. Oh, that's Checo moving up of Piastri. Here we
Do 2.
Good. No, the rule's 1. That's good. Good
Rachel,
form.
my mic was on.
Talia,
Perez is
up you go.
racing.
Perez, by the way, is absolutely flying up. He's putting a lot of pressure on Piastri, isn't he? Here we go. Excellent. I'm feeling really nervous because I actually can't do a press up.
Why are you going to do it on your knees?
I got
Do not
I got
do it on
bullied
your
at
knees.
school.
I will restart that
PE.
bullying if you do that.
I've
on your
also
knees,
got.
mate.
I'm just carrying a lot of emotional weight at the moment from the Chelsea result. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much. Not sure if my arse is sticking in the air there. Tom, you're up. What have you got? What have you got in the locker? As George Russell looks to make a move on Perez.
Nice.
Wow,
There
and
we
you
go.
can see who the athlete is.
Kind of athlete, guys.
Good stuff. Do you have to do much kind of like gym stuff and push-ups as a driver?
I do bits.
Do you?
I do bits.
So that just got really personal really quickly, didn't it?
I did.
Um,
I
what
did.
do you do at the
Yeah, what do you do? You do
You
what?
lift.
Often.
Right, so let's quickly go through a lap 3 of 19 here in the US sprint race. Verstappen leading by just under a second on Hamilton. The 2 Ferraris. Sainz going on the soft tally. It seems like a good call. He's up to 4th already.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes me think that they're going to start saying in Charles's ear,
Yeah.
gotta let him through.
Gotta
He's
let
gonna
him
be like,
through.
Yeah, they are. That's what's going to happen. They're going to start telling him to let him through.
Jack McLaren then 5 and 6. It's been a kind of weird weekend because that P2 yesterday in quali for Norris came out of nowhere because they were struggling otherwise. Can you see Norris and Piastri getting back up there, or would you take a 5-6 from this?
I think with Sainz, you've got to sort of take them out of the equation for now, just because we don't know how he's going to drop off later in the race.
Sure.
But I mean,
No, absolutely.
Verstappen looks quick already. Hamilton looks
Here's a
quick,
move,
but-
Sergio Perez against Piastri, but Piastri's holding on. Ooh,
Nice.
wow, good driving from the rookie. But Perez is straight back on him, got a better exit. But I tell you what, Oscar Piastri's not giving up here.
Hey, he's not
This
gonna
is
give
good
up.
racing.
He's not going to give up.
But Perez, at the end of the day, he might not know how to drive, but he's got a good car.
But look at that. Look
Russell's
at
going to
that.
have a go at him as
And
well
Russell
now.
is having a go, you're absolutely right.
But look at that top 8. It's just 14.
That's off the track.
Wow.
That could be an
We'll have to
issue.
have a little look at that. So you think Russell's gone off the track to gain an advantage there?
Well, I don't want to say that, but he did overtake whilst being off the track.
Sure. So we'll
it's hard
so
to
we're
say.
having a look at that.
If I was the driver, though, I'd do the same thing. So.
When it happens, and would you? Yeah, fair enough. when you're in the moments in the race and these are happening, are you thinking about the other drivers? Gasly's on the radio. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gasly's saying Russell overtook off the track.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you're in the moment, you're in the car. Are you thinking about the things, or are you just trying to concentrate on your own race? What's the best way to go
Well,
about
you're thinking
it?
on your own race, but your own race is very dependent on everyone else.
Sure.
So it's hard to say, but certainly in a situation like that there, if you're seeing a driver drop back and back, just drop back, like with Piastri, you absolutely want a piece of the action.
Absolutely. We've just seen the start again. Talk us through, Talia, that you
Max
just watched there.
Verstappen just pushes Charles Leclerc straight off.
Yeah. Is that bias or not? No, I think you're absolutely right. He gets pinched
He does.
there.
I would say that if it was anyone. He,
Well, look, yeah.
he pushes him straight off.
He does. Oscar got an electric start here. He's started on 8th. He's now 5th. Was that contact there with a Ferrari? It looked very tight.
It did, but I don't think there was because would have seen
This is
something.
Hamilton, so he went from 3rd to 2nd, and he just really cleverly kind of stayed out of the way. Has he gained an advantage there off the track? It was tight.
It's the first corner. No one will really look into it too much, but
No.
maybe a little, but is what it is, really.
Well, I tell you what's really exciting. For the first time since a certain race in Abu Dhabi, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton are within a second of each other and battling at the front of a race.
That's cool.
It's remarkable as well. I don't think Max has managed to get that 1 second. Could this be Lewis's day, Jack? Would you like it to be Lewis's day?
No.
Oh,
No, just straight no. Not,
fair enough.
Not a Hamilton.
Not a Hamilton fan.
Not a Hamilton fan personally, but
Wow.
I agree that it is nice to see. I think last year,
Yes.
when I saw Hamilton get blue flags last year for Verstappen, I was even that hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm not a Hamilton fan.
Even
so
for
I'm
you.
like,
Why aren't you a Hamilton fan? Can I ask?
oh God.
That got personal. as well.
That could get
Very
that
personal
can
show
get
this
personal.
evening.
Yeah, this is going.
could paint him in certain
I don't
lines.
know. It's just.
Ooh.
Weird.
See, I haven't got Hamilton in my top 3, so
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I've got him in
honestly-
second.
Fourth. I want
second.
them to come fourth.
We'll head to Rachel Riley, who's got some information in Dictionary Corner.
stick.
Colin.
So, just a couple of things to catch up on those opening laps. Hamilton, no sign of a penalty for going off the track at the first corner, whenever it was, so he seems okay. We've seen things get tight between Piastri and Russell, but the replays actually showed as well that Piastri made contact with Sainz, so Sainz came through
Right.
in the opening laps. And as well, Pierre Gasly, as we're looking at him here in the replay, he has been reporting on the radio that George Russell's been overtaking off the track.
Pierre,
Passing him up.
6-0 drop. I tell you what, he has been great. I mean, not quite working. Aston Martin, yeah, what's happening there? Down in 15th. Hold the front pace. Stroll is ahead. Stroll is ahead of Alonso. You like this kind of helmet tomorrow? I think it's such a good view. Is that a real representation of when you're on track?
It is a good representation, but I think that is exactly what.
Absolutely. Well, listen, 6 laps into the sprint race, chaos in the studio and chaos in Texas. Lap 6, we're actually seeing a bit of a battle here with Hamilton. He's just now outside of that DRS range. But what has gone on with Piastri and McLaren? Because he's getting taken over easily. But hold that, because Norris done the inside of Sainz, is it? No, it's a bit too far into that corner. Lots happens in the US Grand Prix, Jack. It's hard to keep up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's chaos. It's interesting because obviously everyone's on the same tyres. Obviously some might have used, some might be a bit more new, but it should be fairly reflective on performance. So to see Piastri dropping so far back so quickly, I mean Albon's done him now.
Well, exactly. I was going to say Piastri has dropped yet another place. He's now out of the points because only, I believe, the top 8 get points on a sprint race. But yeah, Verstappen building that interval to Hamilton. But Talia, Leclerc staying in third. Sainz still staying there for Ferrari as well. You must be optimistic that you can hold on to that.
Yeah, I am, and I mean, I missed the Aston Martins. Unfortunately, my mic,
This
the
is true.
batteries.
Yeah, we do apologise for any sound issues this evening, but what that was just you sorting your mic out and make sure you can speak to Fernando Alonso.
Yeah,
to
that's
sort his
actually what I
game
went
out.
to do.
You've had a word with Fernando. He's down in 15th. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Russell's back on the radio again. We think you got pushed off the track, is what the team is saying. He's saying you just ran me off the road. Jack, how do you view that one?
I mean,
Has Russell gone to gain an advantage, or
um,
he's been given a penalty?
yeah, no, I think he's too far behind. That he had plenty of time when he thought he was going to get forced off to sort of cancel the move there.
Sure.
I think he's going to go for it, and he's thought, well, I might as well just risk it, and hopefully I can sort of play it off
Get away
as
with it.
I've been pushed.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, again, as you say, Albon going ahead of Piastri. I'm not really sure what's happening with Oscar. We'll have a listen in if we can to see if there's some sort of issue or if it is just performance. Let's get another top 3 situation again. I can't see a world in where it doesn't change.
But why don't we do it so we don't play it safe? Why don't we do it for 3 laps time and not play it so safe?
Where will Oscar Piastri be by the end of lap 10?
It's a great question, and that's ask you that question, exactly that, Jack. Where will Oscar Piastri be in 3 laps time at the end of lap 10?
I think that should be our forfeit question.
Oh, that's the forfeit question. You don't want to do that for the wheel?
I think we should do that for the wheel.
That's what I mean, let's do it for the wheel.
Okay.
So let's all go around and think where Oscar's going to be, because he's the one that's had a bit of a howler so far in the first 7.
I think we need to write it down because someone might change their mind in between.
Whatever do you mean?
We need evidence.
Yeah,
Who
see?
is not trustworthy on this?
I think everyone's
Who
not
are you calling out
trustworthy.
here?
I think everyone's not trustworthy.
We've got a view of Oscar here. It just seems performance. He's not quite at the races today. So Oscar Piastri has made a pretty poor start to the US sprint race. We're on lap 8. He's currently in P10, dropping from P5. Where will Oscar be is the big question. Come the end of lap 10. Get your predictions in now. If that's a game show. You got yours?
Yeah, I've got mine.
Got yours?
Yeah, well, I shared mine, but with my Arsenal fan.
There we go.
Yeah, interesting.
I've gone
Interesting stuff.
optimistic.
Let's start with Arsenal. Let's start with the Emirates over here. What have we gone for? 8th!
Yeah.
Wow! 11.
Outrageous.
You've
10th.
You're sticking at 10th.
10th.
I've gone 11th as well.
Nice.
So let's see where Oscar Piastri is. He's currently in 10th, but Ocon is only 0.6 pretty much behind him. So who knows? It could get a little bit worse for Oscar. Verstappen, if you've just joined us, leads the US sprint race in Texas, 2 and a bit seconds ahead of Hamilton, followed by the 2 Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz. Norris in 5th. It's Sergio Perez in 6th and George Russell in 7th. Gasly, Albon and Piastri make up the top 10. Who surprised you? Let's take out Piastri, obviously, because that's a negative surprise. Who surprised you out of that top 10? To be
Carlos Sainz.
Because it looks like the soft tyres paid off for Ferrari.
Yeah, because it's nice to see him climb up the grid so quickly.
He is under pressure from Norris, though.
Yeah,
You might just start to see that.
So you think already maybe that soft tyre's starting to have an impact?
Well, maybe. I'm not sure.
It's high
Hard to
degradation
say.
around here, I believe.
Yes, it's quite bumpy.
Jack, do you think the soft was the right call for Sainz, or it's hard to say? We've got 10 laps to go now. Is he? I mean, now Norris is 0.6 away from him now. Is it the wrong call? The fact he's gone on his own to me suggests it might
Maybe,
be.
and the gap to Leclerc ahead of him is pushing
huge.
6 seconds now.
Absolutely.
When he's got 2 cars in his DRS, so.
Yeah, and you can see Perez coming into the picture as well. This is who we're following on screen.
This is really unfortunate to see both the Aston Martins down in 13th and 14th.
No.
Especially
I'm happy.
Stroll over
happy,
Alonso.
Why do you think it's not worked? Because lots of teams have bought new packages, Mercedes, and it has clearly worked for them, or Lewis in particular. Why hasn't it worked for Aston Martin this weekend? Because it seems to with everyone else. What have they got so wrong?
Because they copy people.
Right, okay, they need to come up with their own ideas.
Yeah, I
Who do you
mean,
think that is? Is that Lawrence? Sorry, Lawrence. Do you think Lawrence is the one that's
Or is it Lance saying, Daddy?
we've had back at Racing Point,
really
we've had the
like his
pink,
car.
was it the pink Mercedes?
Yes,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now they've come in this year with last year's Red Bull. And the same thing's happened again, where they look
do you
great.
expect?
They look great at the start because they had last year's best car, but they don't know the car. It's not their design. They can't develop it. So they've come
Absolutely,
in with
yeah.
this ridiculously good copied car, and then they've just added the bits that they know about. But they need to stop copying people and design their own car, and they might get somewhere. But they've done it before. It didn't work. They got caught. And then they've done it again. Everyone knows they've done it, and it's backfired again because they can't develop their car.
You seem quite passionate about this.
I was thinking the same thing.
You need to get yourself to work at Aston Martin and sort it out.
It's just we've
It's
seen
frustrating, isn't it? When
yeah, it's the fact that we've seen them do it before at Racing Point, and then they seem to have gone with it again. And I could see at the start they looked great, but it was last year's Red Bull, and everybody could see that. So unless you have an intricate understanding of how that Red Bull works, you're not going to be able to develop at the rate of the other teams.
You're
So I
absolutely
mean,
right.
I think that's what we're seeing.
There's an engineer that moved teams somewhere, and fair enough.
There is.
Lap 10.
It is lap 10. Let's have a little look.
Oh,
Piastri
no.
has just been given his 3rd warning for track limits.
Is it the end of lap 10?
It was the end of lap 10. So let's quickly... Oh, hello. You might be in with a chance here.
Oh, yeah.
What did you write? 10.
He kept the 10th. But let's have a look at the end of... So when it flicks into 11th. Let's follow, we can, this little kind of mini battle we've got going in here. Sainz under extreme pressure. Talia, I think they've got it wrong.
Yeah, I reckon Norris is going to eventually overtake
And then
Carlos
Perez
Sainz.
as well, perhaps, because Jack, you spoke about it nearly being 6 seconds. It's now nearly 6.5 seconds, Sainz to Leclerc. Why have they gone opposite strategies when both cars really were in with a
I
a
reckon they
decent
went
chance?
to test it. I reckon they're testing it for tomorrow.
I think.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes maybe the sprint races are tests for the next day.
Sure. So we spoke about that we enjoy them, but maybe from a team's point of view, they're just thinking, I'll just use it as a kind of a
As a
glorified
test.
dress rehearsal.
You will see tomorrow when Sainz comes on.
Here
what-
goes
there
Lando
you go.
Norris on the inside of Sainz.
Well, there you go. They now know what tyres not to start with tomorrow.
Exactly. So they've achieved what they want to do. They're just losing places, and Perez is hot behind him as well. I think Sainz not giving up though. He's trying to stay as close as he can to Lando.
He's a fantastic driver, Carlos Sainz. I think he's completely underrated.
I agree. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
doesn't.
Maybe because he's in Leclerc's shadow. Do you agree, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them ones where he's just he's just consistent. He's just a nice guy and he's consistent. I really like Carlos, but I think he's not the superstar name coming in that sort of the people sort of get behind
Absolutely.
to the level of Leclerc, and it's maybe he gets underrated, but I think he enjoys that. I think he's more than happy to be this underrated smooth operator.
You took the words out of my mouth. He is just a smooth operator. Right, lap 11, the end of 10. Piastri's in 10th. Tom, you're safe. Would you like to spin the wheel? Because we're not.
No, I'll let you spin it.
I feel like, on this
Are we
morning.
spinning on behalf of 3 of us again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
That's
it's
a very... Oh, it's a dance. It's nearly a cancel.
You know what? I think smooth operator needs to be sung.
So why don't we just have what? Who wants dance? Do you want dance?
I want to sing smooth operator.
Should I dance then?
But someone can
Or
sing
do
it
you
with
want
me.
to dance?
I'm more than happy with not dancing.
So I'll dance,
I insist.
then we're going to spin
As the host,
for you
please.
guys as well.
Okay.
Okay, but a big one. It's a bit... Oh! Sing? You
I'm
want to sing?
going to sing.
Okay, I'll gamble.
So you're...
I'm going to gamble.
You will give it us... So we've got a lovely little show for you now on On Track GP.
I get to sing smooth operator
You're
with both
singing
of you.
Smooth Operator as I dance to it, as Jack will push up his way through.
Oh, we're doing it all together.
We're doing it all
Yeah,
together.
I'm going to sing. You two are the
Simultaneously.
smooth
And
operators.
Tom, all I'm going to say to you is sit back and relax.
I can't
and
lie,
enjoy.
I'm so happy I'm not doing it.
Do you know, be like Logan Sargent at the back, just watching it all unfold. Right, do you want to get into position?
You two are the smooth
Yes.
operators right now.
Let me know when to. I don't
what's
want
like- what does an operator do? Am I here? No.
I think you need to go in the middle, don't you?
So you
to get in the way of the camera.
down. Here you go.
Okay.
I need to-
So
I need
you
to-
when
Oh
you
yeah,
start
I
singing,
can't actually
give it that-
sing in tune.
hips are moving, mate.
Ready, guys?
Let's
go in.
3, 2, 1. Is a smooth operator. Smooth
That's what I'm saying, that's
operator.
And body roll.
Smooth
Coast to coast
operator.
and into Chicago.
Smooth operator.
Massively underrated. Really good stuff. You're like Carlos Sainz. He's not given the credit you deserve for your singing.
Nice.
That was toe curling. Right, let's have a look for another one. Let's check back in on the race. Lap 12 of 19 of this sprint. It seems no real drama. It's pretty kind of safe. Everyone's just going around their daily business. This is maybe my criticism, and I wonder if you guys agree with the sprint race. Because in Qatar, we saw quite a few stoppages. We saw a few safety cars. It was exciting. But the ones that we've seen in the past are just like a glorified driver's parade, is how I call it. It's effectively like just people going round, processing around the track. And it feels a little bit like that today. Is it days like this that make it boring in the sprint concept, maybe, in its current format, do you think?
Yeah, I think this is why sometimes, I think at the beginning I said, sometimes you sit and you do think, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because, it could get exciting in 20 laps time,
But we won't be
but
here.
we're not going to be here
Sure.
because it's going to be finished by then. I mean, we're nearly done.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
So this is, Jack, maybe why a reverse grid, I know you're anti-reverse grid, but that would encourage a lot more overtaking, putting the faster cars at the back, and then maybe give it a more exciting factor.
I'm against it personally.
Oh, you're against it?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you're against it,
But
sorry.
I just feel like it would be chaos because you're going into turn 1 and every car going back is progressively quicker.
but
So
that's what
everyone's
makes it fun.
But is
But
that
everyone's
not
gonna
prime
hit it
time
exactly
Saturday
the
night
same
TV?
time.
But the problem
Yeah.
is, for example, Max Verstappen may be 500ths quicker than Charles Leclerc, who may be 500ths quicker than
Sure.
Lewis. So you're getting that slow progression throughout the grid. So no one is actually that much quicker than the person in front of them, slowly throughout the grid. Other
Yeah,
interesting
you make a
point.
good point. I mean, we probably give a lot of disrespect to people like Logan Sargent. They still get around the track really quickly. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not a huge difference.
Did we mention that Carlos Sainz has gone down to 6th?
We
Oh.
didn't, because we were too busy singing his praises.
with
Yeah.
Russell and his
Literally.
DRS.
So very true. So again, this is proving that the strategy call from Ferrari hasn't paid off today. You're right, might work tomorrow. Now that they've learnt this lesson. But Carlos on the softs has been hunted down by George Russell, aka my
Do
father.
you reckon... Lando and George.
Sorry, they're both my parents, and they're both doing rather well.
I think that's what I want to see. What the people in the comments, do they think you look more like George Russell
That's the
or
question.
Lando
Can we
Norris?
open that up to the track, guys? Get that in. Who do I look like, Lando Norris or George Russell? I wore a Mercedes top on the show last night, and
You're a good blend.
thank
yeah,
you.
he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Thank
They're
you.
not-
I'm just like the perfect.
You've got
perfect
sort
mixture.
of George's face and Lando's hair. I'll give you that.
I think it's the hair that
No,
makes him
I-
look
Lando's
though.
hair.
Mm.
Okay.
I feel like, and please don't be offended by this.
That's never good when someone
okay,
starts with
but
that,
if I
is it?
say it, then you can't be.
Okay.
A mix of Woody from Toy Story
Yeah.
and George Russell.
You look like the
Well,
Waitrose aspect of him, you know?
I see it. I see it. I actually see it.
This might be the cringiest thing I ever say, but you've certainly not got a friend in me. Terrible. Right, lap 14 of 19. Verstappen still leads quite heavily, 4.5, just about 4.5 to Hamilton. So Verstappen seems to have probably wrapped this one up. Hamilton's second. She's very excited, isn't she, that lady there?
She's loving it.
She can't believe that Sainz is about to be caught by Russell into turn one. Here goes my father on the inside of the smooth operator.
Oh dear.
And he's done it. I think he's got it done.
Good move.
Oh, has he not? Sainz comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
Talia, talk me through this little battle here. Your
Carlos
boy's
Sainz-
doing well.
Because Carlos Sainz is a great driver, and you can see, okay, the tyres they're seemingly okay at the moment, but he's able to keep George behind him.
Absolutely, and we've just seen further down, Ocon's gone ahead of Ricciardo. That wrist clearly not.
Do
fully
you
recovered.
think the Ferrari boys sat down and they went, right, we're doing these tyres and these tyres, rock, paper, scissors, who wants them?
No, any other team I'd say no. Ferrari, they could have flipped a coin. We don't know.
Who wants the tyres?
Do you think they've done it the right way around? Because
Well,
I feel like with the softs behind,
Yeah.
if it works, you're always going to be at a point where he's going to catch the medium driver up. So surely you'd want the softs ahead to fly off.
Absolutely. So when
Maybe Charles Leclerc literally put his foot down and went,
So
no.
that's
this is an
stupid.
opportunity
Yeah,
for me.
he
Don't.
knows. He went, no, I'm not doing
He
it.
took
Normally
his crown
the-
nose off and his wig and said, I'm not doing this, Ferrari.
Yeah, he went,
Let me
no,
go.
not today.
What's your thoughts on that? Have they got it the wrong way round maybe today?
The driver who qualifies in front, in my head, would always have the strategy call. So if he wants to go on soft, or if he wants to go on the mediums, the other driver might go,
Sure.
I'll go another strategy and try and
So you
beat you as such.
prioritise the guy who's high up the
Yeah,
grid.
yeah. In my head, that's how an F1 team would work. But again, I don't.
Go on,
I
Danny
don't
Rick.
work in there.
Danny Ricciardo proving that wrist is just a joint. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's just a thing. I was saying this on the preview, right? A lot's been brought up about Danny Ricciardo's wrist. Lance Stroll drove with like a broken one in the first weekend of
Yeah.
the season. And I've driven one hand before. You've ever done that? You know, when
Yeah.
you drive. So it's possible. I think people have just been a bit like, oh.
Well, Stroll drove with a broken wrist, but he didn't do well.
No, but he still did it, didn't he?
Yeah, but
But he could,
Look,
I
you
don't
are-
know.
You are on fire
Sorry.
tonight. He's like, do you like Lewis? No. What are your thoughts about
No,
what are your thoughts about Aston Martin?
I respect Lewis, but I'm not a Hamilton fan.
You're
There's
clearly
no
not a
agenda
Lance
here.
Stroll fan either.
No.
See? No.
Well, to be fair, he's doing well, Ricciardo. But he's dropping down. He's in 12th, but he just got past Alonso. The Aston Martin's again 13th and 14th.
Yeah, but you
Alonso-
can't blame his wrist.
I am.
Yeah, but I don't think you
I
can.
am.
You can't blame Daniel Ricciardo's wrist.
I am.
But you can't.
What do you think the future holds for him?
For Daddy,
Yeah, because
his wrist all just.
No, just
be an agony this
because
evening.
I almost feel like at the end of last year when he decided to take this year out, he almost looked at it and said, well, we don't quite know what's happening with Hamilton's contract. We don't know what's happening with Perez and how long he's going to get. And we're not quite sure with Ferrari.
Yeah.
But I think he's then done half a season on the sidelines. Hamilton's renewed.
What's his
Perez
plan?
isn't going anywhere, and he's gone, oh, I need a seat now. I'm just going to have to take one.
I think Formula One is more important for Danny Ricciardo than No, the other way around. Danny Ricciardo is more important for the sport than the sport is for him. My point is, you know, this whole Netflix Drive to Survive thing and the new kind of fans, the American fans that have come into it. Of course, we've got 3 races there now. They love characters. They love personalities. That's why Lando is a fan favourite. And it's the same with Danny Rick. You know, I think he would be a massive loss in terms of a company and a financial side of things. I think any team would just want him on their team. Hence why I think AlphaTauri just went, we're going to have him. Although Liam Lawson has probably proved maybe the best driver in AlphaTauri this year.
Would he do better than Checo?
Who, Daniel
If he was in
Ricciardo?
Red Bull.
Yes.
I don't think he would personally anymore. I think a few years ago, yes.
It's a really tough question. I don't know.
My ideal would be Verstappen, Ricciardo, and then AlphaTauri, Tsunoda, Lawson.
Do you
Yeah,
think?
and
Do
then
you
the Checo,
do
yeah.
you see Danny Rick coming into any of the, you know, the teams that are higher in the grid at the moment?
I think
realistically.
I think he's got the ability, but there's no doors. There's not going
He's
to
not
be
gonna go to
one at
Ferrari.
McLaren.
No.
There's not going to be one at Ferrari. Red Bull, you've got at least another year for Perez.
Yeah.
And
I don't think Toto would take him in.
What's Lewis got? Another 2 on his
I think he's
contract?
had a couple more. So, no, I think you're right. It's hard to. It's all about being hypothetical. What's your view on driver versus car, Tom? Someone who's been behind the wheel. Is it the car? Because the car for me, for Red Bull, is built towards Max Verstappen. There's clearly parts of it that suit his driving style and are against Checo's. Is Checo just not up to standard to drive that Red Bull, or is the car just so suited to Max Verstappen? Would Danny struggle as well?
It's hard to say because up until this year, I would have said the McLaren has been designed around Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Because he was involved with that team since 2018. But Piastri's hopped into the car and he's been remarkably close for a rookie in his first season. So until then, I would have said yes, the car absolutely can be evolved around one driver. But to be honest, Max Verstappen's destroyed every teammate he's ever had.
Yeah.
So I think if Daniel hops into that seat, I think it'll only be bad news for him, really.
Chalice,
You know?
I think
Yeah.
I think he actually did quite well against Verstappen.
Oh, no, you're right. But but Max is there's never been a debate. It was kind of like the only one that I can think of is that Hamilton and Rosberg kind of thing, where we wanted to see that from Sergio this year. Can he really put Verstappen under pressure?
Box, no brakes. That was
Lance
from
Stroll coming up with excuses again. No, I'm joking. He's in the pit, and that is detrimental in any sprint race.
Did he have a brake issue in?
Well, there was a talk about it, and also in quali when they went to put the wheel gun in, and everyone was like, "It's a brake issue." I don't think it was in the end. It was something wrong with the wheel gun, wasn't
There
it?
he goes down the
I
grid.
believe he retired from one of the practice.
Yeah, he only got like 5 laps in or something stupid, didn't he? Well, there you go. Stroll in the pit, so that seems like a bottom finish for him. We're at lap 17 now, only a few laps to go. Let's have one more wheel jeopardy moment. Final 3. Are we going to keep it the same?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be this 3.
For entertainment, does someone want to say no?
I think Charles Leclerc will win.
In fact, let's not do that. Let's look at Russell and Sainz, because that's the close one. With Sainz's target, it's slowing down. Can Russell catch... It's a simple yes or no. Can Russell catch Sainz? Yes or no?
No.
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 Yes.
Yes. So again, we're going to spin the wheel on this one. Come the end of the race, if Russell is ahead of Sainz,
I'm just
We
a
win.
hopeful Ferrari fan.
you are a hopeless romantic for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Lap 18 of 19, Verstappen leads Hamilton by 6.7. It is basically done. It's another amazing outing. 2 weeks on from winning the World Championship for Verstappen on a sprint race. He looks to do it again today. Hamilton second, Leclerc third, Norris in fourth. Perez climbs up the grid. He's in fifth. He started 11th, didn't he? Something stupid, Perez? No, it wasn't that bad.
Not
It was
bad.
eighth or ninth.
7th, 8th,
Something
9th.
Lower than where he
outside
is
the
now.
top
Yeah.
6.
Sainz in sixth. That's the battle against George Russell as he's looking to hunt him down. Gasly and Albon at 8th and 9th. Piastri in 10th. Doesn't look like AlphaTauri are going to get those points today. Ricciardo's down in 12th. Ocon 11th. And Sargent kind of at the back in 19th with Stroll being in the pits. It's
We didn't get your favourite track, did we?
Yeah,
my
we
favourite-
didn't. Yeah, we haven't
We were
seen.
doing tracks, weren't we? Silverstone over here.
Oh yeah, my
We
favourite
only
track.
got Silverstone, I think.
I reckon it will be Vegas by the end of it, but we can't say that just because of the drama of all of it. I can tell you categorically, I hate Monaco.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
And I do. I know it's the jewel in the crown, and I love the history behind it, and I love the whole, the boats, and they arrive on their little speedboats, lovely stuff. But in terms of a racing track, come on.
Do you want it gone?
Well, no one can
I-
overtake.
Yeah, what's the point? I want to see overtaking, I want to see entertainment in my
Do you want it
sport.
off the calendar?
You're really pressing
I
me
need a
this
yes or a
evening.
no.
Yeah,
I
go
think,
on.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think
You
I
want
do.
rid of it?
I've done a multi-story car park quicker than they go around Monaco. Honestly, it is an absolute joke of a racing track. In terms of a place to hold an event, I think the event's fantastic, and every driver wants to win Monaco. But that's the only race where you basically win it on a Saturday, don't you? Wherever you qualify, that's what it's going to
Yeah.
be.
But
It's not
I'd have-
exciting. It's boring.
Out of all the Grand Prix, the next one I want to go to is Monaco.
Oh,
I
go,
really
by all
want to go to
means.
Monaco. So
love to go.
I can't agree with you.
Listen, it sounds amazing. The place sounds amazing. I'm just saying in terms of a racetrack. I like Silverstone, but I'd say Brazil actually. I like Brazil's
Good
always
shout.
giving us excitement.
shout.
We'll see there very soon. Right, this is it into the final lap here. Russell is still hunting down Sainz. I have to say, if Sainz and Ferrari can hold on to that 6th place on a soft tyre, fair play. To be fair to them.
Yep. Maybe they will bring them out tomorrow.
What's that a net? Where did he start? Is that -1 for Sainz? Or
No.
has he stayed the same?
No, he stayed the same. He was
Yeah.
6th. So to maintain on a soft is pretty good actually. To be fair, where it's clearly the wrong wrong time. Max Verstappen, though, let's have a quick word on him and his whole season, Jack. I've never really spoken to you on the show about Max. He's so impressive, isn't he?
Yeah, so impressive. And the one thing for me that I've really liked this year is he's matured, I think. I think maybe before his first championship, you see the little mistakes or the collisions when in 2021 with Hamilton. He sort of had that erratic or not quite knowing where the limit is. And I think he's really matured now. We're seeing almost no mistakes. He doesn't really come together with people. He's quite clean with his driving.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's not been tested.
And that's what we want to see.
Who's to say that he's not going to go wheel to wheel with someone and go back to exactly the same mistakes? But for me, he looks like he's matured. He looks a lot more of an accomplished driver than he was before.
And it's a huge complete season. It's another win. The first driver to win 3 sprint races in a season. Max Verstappen wins the US sprint race. Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes bought an upgrade. Lewis is back on form. I'm sorry, Jack.
Charles Leclerc is going to be on a podium.
He's in second, and barring Norris turning into like Lightning McQueen here, it's third for Charles Leclerc.
Oh, I'm so happy.
A really great result for Ferrari. Norris across in fourth. Pleased with that, McLaren over in the corner, and me? Yeah. We'll take that. We'll take LN4. Perez, I think an impressive. Tom, are you impressed with Perez there? He's obviously had a tough time.
Gasly just came up.
Yeah.
Oh! Whoa! Gasly just came up over Russell.
Oh.
Well, he won't get science then.
Oh.
Well, he won't beat science then. We're all in trouble.
Whoa! Right at the checkered flag.
Pierre Gasly takes 7th in the dying embers.
How did that
Never
happen?
saw that coming.
We did that coming tall. Colin's got some.
Just to confirm on that, Gasly was brought up position because George Russell had the 5-second penalty. So
okay.
Ah,
That's what
so
happened.
he didn't take him. Verstappen's on the radio, probably just saying how amazing he's done. Joe Guan seems to be dropping. That could be a penalty, we're not entirely sure. But let's go through that top then. Verstappen winning the sprint race, Hamilton in second, Leclerc third, Norris in fourth. Tom, we were just saying Checo, he's had a pretty wretched few weeks. Would you be pleased if you were in his position getting a fifth today?
Sort of. It's hard to say because he's come up through the grid, but his teammates won by 6-7 seconds. So no one's really gonna be that proud of that result.
Fair play.
But again, he's done a good job considering where he started.
Talia, Carlos Sainz in 6th. He started in 6th. He went a bit wacky on the tyre. You've got to be pleased as a Ferrari fan that he's kind of kept it in there and kept 6th.
Yeah, because he could have gone a lot further down. So
Sure.
look, it would have been nice for him to stay up in 4th, but you know what, to have 6th, it's pretty decent.
P2, P6 for Ferrari. They kind of now might have worked out those problems with what they're going to do for tomorrow. So you're optimistic about tomorrow for Ferrari?
I am, but this isn't something that I wanted them to figure out this far in the season. I wanted them to figure this out in March.
Yes, yeah. Jack, a word on Alex Albon as well. He's ended up in that top 10. He's had a fab season, Alex Albon.
Yeah, and it really doesn't help Logan Sargent because I don't think either of us quite know how much Albon's overperforming the car to what Sargent's underperforming. But
Sure.
either way, he's making him look bad. So, but Albon has been probably my driver of the season.
Nice,
But
yeah.
if you compared to what you'd expect from a Williams and from where he's putting it, and he was in it last year as well. So.
Yeah.
There's a move beckoning at some point. But
I hope so, because I feel that Red Bull one came a bit too early in his career.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
He's matured, and who knows, he might return. There we go, one for a change in front of car number 1, the world champion, Max Verstappen. Right, we've got one more wheel spin then, because he didn't catch him, but Russell fell. So I feel like we all should go out on a big, big
No,
sing-song.
no, I got it right.
No, I know, but...
Yeah, but so
did.
I want to spin it for you guys.
Oh yeah, please spin. Please get a sing. I want to hear North London Forever.
I want to hear North London Forever.
Oh, it's a dance.
I-
Our dance.
we'll spin again.
I can sing out to North London Forever.
So
No,
while-
I was go-
So, Jack, you have a little sing-song to close us out this evening. And I'll, shall
or
I bring-
Mysterious
shall I-
Girl.
I don't know all the words. Oh,
Whatever one you want to
And,
channel
and
the
while
most.
you do it, I'll worm.
okay.
What a treat for a Saturday evening into a Sunday morning. So you start and I'm going.
Do I get like a join in at the end, or is
Or
it?
it depends
Oh,
what you're going
right.
to sing in.
Ready?
Go on. Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Whoa, 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 mysterious girl.
I've got it
I
as
want
well
to
as well.
get close to you.
Oh, my mic.
It's actually an impressive worm. That was
Thank
good.
you very much.
Well done, guys. You both deserve that.
Felt
So
like it hurt.
Don't want to be... Sorry?
Felt like it hurt.
It did. I'm in a bit of pain. And I've never been told about an impressive worm, so thank you, Tom. But let's quickly go ahead. Yeah, God, that came out really badly, didn't it? Let's talk about tomorrow's race then. A fab sprint race at the Circuit of the Americas where Max Verstappen has won once again. Let's look at our predictions for today. Did anyone get it right?
I got the first and the third right.
I got Max Lewis. Verstappen, So you
I might have wiped mine off, but I know I got it wrong.
I think we all got it wrong.
I had Norris in third.
Yeah, we all got Max right.
We all got Max right.
I
So
feel
that's
the
a bonus
fact that
point.
That's a
I
win for
dropped
someone.
Charles down, even though I'm the Ferrari fan. But hey, I guess
But hey,
I know what we do.
Exactly. Let's quickly before we wrap up this evening. Then look to tomorrow. Look at our predictions. We've got Charles Leclerc on pole, which is very exciting. P2 Lewis Hamilton and P3 Lando Norris. Have I remembered that correct? I have. Where do we see tomorrow, Tom? Who's your final three for tomorrow? Are we going to see a winner that isn't Max Verstappen? Could Lewis get his first win?
Yeah, Lewis really impressed me today, but Max just looks so dominant. So it's hard to say. I'd like someone other than Max to win. For the
Who's your winner then? Go on, put your money where your mouth is.
I've got to say Max.
Max Verstappen.
Can't put it past Max.
We want not Max, but it is going to be Max.
I know.
Okay, Talia, who's winning?
Winner tomorrow, Charles Leclerc.
Oh, she said it! Clip that up. Jack, who's your winner tomorrow?
I've got Leclerc, then Max, then Hamilton.
Nice. I'll go Hamilton to win it. I'll go Lewis Hamilton to finally get that win after a very, very long wait. Guys, thank you very much. It was one of my favourite Saturday evenings ever.
Oh,
Would you all agree? Yes, that's sad, isn't it? No, I'm joking. Thank you very much for joining us. We've been on Track GP. Make sure you subscribe, find out all of our amazing content. And guess what? We're back to do it all again tomorrow evening for the US Grand Prix. Have a lovely evening.